Mr. Eggplant presents...
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And lo and behold, 2 days after I uploaded my Marksman Hunter wish list for the talents for Dragonflight, Blizzard dropped those today. So I don't know why I was so clairvoyant or had like this gut feeling that Marksman Hunter, or I should say just Hunter and Rogues, were next, but they were. So they did drop today, and I will put a link to the talent calculator from over on Wowhead down in the description of the video. I would encourage you guys to join my Discord, share builds. There's a bunch of people doing that already, and I'd love to get feedback with you guys because there is a lot of flexibility in these, and I will try to keep this video as short as possible. We'll talk about what I'm looking for like single target builds, then AOE, pet, no pet, PvP. There's a lot of flexibility, and your choices matter, and that's really what players have been asking for and clamoring for like a couple expansions now, of having more flexibility. And because of that, and because of like the tree, the hunter tree, and then the marksman hunter tree, there is abilities that we've never had, there is utility that we've never had that are finally going to be at our disposal. So I'm really excited about that. And I did speak about my my wish list. It is up on my YouTube channel if you guys would like to go check it out. It's one of the first videos that you'll find. Put a lot of hard work into it, and now people probably won't watch it, but you know what, that's okay. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. So Hunter tree first. Let's go ahead and talk about real quick things that I wanted that I got my wish for. So for example, one of those is going to be Death Chakram. It is one of the options in the Hunter tree. That is the only Covenant ability that officially made it in its entirety from Shadowlands into Dragonflight. So that was the one I wanted. So points for me, I suppose. So let's see. Unfortunately, they did not get rid of Serpent Sting, but over here in the Marksman tree, they did add Serpent Stalker's Trickery. So I didn't tell them, but you know what I mean. I made the comment that if that does stay in the game, then it needs to be a passive. It needs to be a part of one of our abilities, much like Aim Shot, like Serpent Stalker's Trickery from this expansion. And they did that, so that's awesome. Other abilities that I would have liked to see would have been, well, I should say, one ability I thought that wouldn't make it that totally did was Wailing Arrow, which is the on-use ability that Sylvanas' bow, legendary bow from Sanctum of Domination, gives us. So I did not think that was going to get in there, but it did. So there's going to be a couple of builds that I'm going to do throughout Dragonflight that's going to have that incorporated. Whether it's BIS or not, doesn't matter. I love that ability. Let me see if there's a couple of other things. So they added one of my most requested abilities, which if anything got in here, I was hoping it would be this, and it is. So it's Unerring Vision. So that was one of the main Azerite traits that I used in BFA. So you get a stacking amount of crit for 10 seconds for the first 10 seconds of your true shot, and then it stays and you keep that for the last 5 seconds. That was so important for it was literally like a boom bust period for my Marksman Hunter, and I basically just cycled as many true shots as possible. It allows you to just pump. That's all you do, because you can actually, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but you can pick up Calling the Shots, which is also in the tree. Again, something that I asked that they would keep, to lower and whittle the cooldown of your true shot. So you can get that true shot to almost, instead of it being, I'm assuming, still a 2-minute cooldown, you can get that down to like a minute or a minute and 15. And if you have constant stacking crit, and then coupled with a couple of these abilities like Steady Focus, which is still in the game here, but it gives you significantly more haste, that means you can already be pumping in versatility, you can already pump in mastery, and you can already pump in more crit into your build and not have to worry about haste nearly as much. So that's kind of the things that I wanted to see make the build, and it did. Obviously these builds can change, so don't shoot the messenger if you're watching this in a month and things are different. But I like the way they're going. I feel there's a lot of utility in this, and there's a lot of utility for different situations. So you can basically just say, hey, I'm doing AOE content in Mythic Plus, I need this, and then just automatically save a talent tree, go to a rested area, and immediately be able to switch all that. So that quality of life is so nice. And anyway, let's go ahead and jump into some of these builds. So looking right away, we can get Kill Command right off the bat. And if you are a Marksman Hunter, you automatically start off with Kill Shot out of the Hunter tree. So obviously if we have Kill Command, that means we can run with a pet. And you will probably see me do that in Mythic Plus. for one main reason, which is down here, which is Intimidation. So Intimidation is in the game for all hunters, not just Beast Mastery. That means that we officially have a stun in our kit as a Marksman Hunter. We have roots, binds, slows, disorients, but we've never had a stun. Well, now we do, and that's a really exciting thing for me. So this is what I've been kind of thinking about build-wise, and I've been going through several of these iterations trying to figure out what would work for me. So I'm talking, this is again like a Mythic Plus build. I'll do single target here in a few minutes. So automatically the way these work is you have to connect them, and if there's 2 points, you have to put both points in to go to the next one. And then you have to use at least 8 points in the top of the tree, do the next 12 points from here on up, and then the last points can go down at the bottom where they really matter. So we would be starting off with kill shot, and post haste is very important. If you're ever going to be needing a point, at least 1 point in post haste to get you out of roots with disengage. So I would still put 2 points in because that's how you get to your counter shot, but I would at least always put 1 point in post haste. Going to get improved kill shot, and then natural mending actually got a buff if you put both points in there, because for a Marksman Hunter in BFA and then in Shadowlands, every 20 focus you spent, and again, I don't know if aim shot focus costs are changing. They haven't said that, obviously, but this natural mending is really strong, and so every 12 focus you'll lower the cooldown of your next exhilaration by 1 second, as long as it's on cooldown, of course. So I'm going to put at least 1 point there, and then since I do want to get my counter shot, I'm going to put 2 points in post haste, then counter shot, and this opens this up. So again, this is going to be a Mythic Plus build, so keep that in mind. This is going to be Mythic Plus. So I want to misdirect, and then I want Tar Trap, and then I want Trank Shot. So that's going to get me the bare minimum to get up to the next set of talents. And so this Fog Crystal is actually a Torghast ability. If this said your target takes percentage less, I would pick it in Mythic Plus, because that's a huge cooldown for your tank. It's for pet though, so I won't be taking that. So we want to go ahead and get down here to Intimidation. So I'm going to go ahead, first off, put points here. I'd never have to run with Scattershot anymore. Most people hate that I run with it in PvP because it removes all dots, but I will go ahead and pick Binding Shot here, and then I will put 1 point in Trank Shot. Actually, no, I will put 2 points in Trank Shot, and then pick Intimidation, because we do get to pick options there, and that will once again unlock the next tier. So my goal, I should say, my goal is to get down here to Death Chakram and to get to Explosive Shot, which I know I can do it because I've already done it before. To do that though, I do have to pick Binding Shackles most likely, and that was something that I had never used in both BFA and in Shadowlands. Well, I'm going to use it now. Okay, so to get over here, I'm going to have to pick Serpent Sting, so that's going to have to be something that I pick. So we basically are going to be looking at like Keen Eyesight to give you increased crit chance. And I was talking to Glitchy earlier, and there's so much crit already built into our kit with these talent trees before we ever get any crit on our gear. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to be critting a lot more than we do currently in Shadowlands, and that's going to be more of the BFA build, which is kind of what I've been championing in my wishlist build. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Binding Shackles, and then I'm going to pick one Born to be Wild just to keep points up here, because I do have to spend 5 more points. Movement speed is very important, so I will be putting 3 points there, and then I will put 1 point in Camouflage, and then now I can either put a point in Exhilaration, which I will be running with a pet, so that could be important, or I'll be putting a point in Born to be Wild. So I'm going to go ahead and do Born to be Wild for now. Then if I want to get Explosive Shot, I will have to pick Serpent Sting, but then that does give me Explosive Shot. And I don't know how much Explosive Shot damage does. Since it's at the very bottom of the tree, you'd think it would do more damage than it does in Shadowlands, but again, there's no numbers for damage-wise, so we'll just have to wait and see. So here, I actually really like Viper's Venom. This could be something that you could pick or not pick, but I like this. It's a new ability, so for us, it'll be whenever you use Aim Shot, you have a chance to make your next Serpent Sting cost no focus and deal 250% increased initial damage, so when you first use it. I'm hoping that they take Serpent Sting off the GCD. I don't think they will, but I'm really hoping they do, just because it's kind of a pain, and it's not really worth the global in its current iteration. And that's really kind of all I have to go with right now. And I do want to get Master Marksman since we are going to be critting so much. To get that, though, you do have to pick Barrage, which I'm not super stoked about. I make fun of hunters who pick Barrage currently, but I'm hoping they retool it so it's not just the cluster that it is in current game. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. So then I would pick Master Marksman. That would get me down here to pick Death Chakram, and then I have 4 more points to spend. And my goal for this build was to get Intimidation, was to get Explosive Shot, Death Chakram. All did that. All while keeping our utility with Binding Shot, not multi-shots later, but Tar Trap, a Misdirection, and Trank Shot while having Post-Haste. We've done all that, so this build is choice. So now I will go ahead and put Critical Strike chance increased by 3, or 6% I should say, 3 points in that, so I have 1 more point left. I would either put it in Natural Mending, I would put it in Kill Command, maybe that's going to be worth it, but since I don't have damage to go off of, I'm not really sure, because I will be running with a pet in Mythic Plus, and then you can just put that point somewhere else. So let's just go, for the sake of the video, Natural Mending, and now our Hunter tree is done. So then we move over here to the Marksman tree. So you'll pick Aim Shot. You don't really have a choice in that. Well, of course not. So the whole point of my build for when I play Marksman Hunter is going to be to get as many true shots out, which they are getting the Unerring Vision bonus crit, as much as possible. So to do that, I'm going to be casting more multi-shots and aim shots, or excuse me, multi-shots and arcane shots. So I want to make those do more damage, and I want to make them be easier to cast. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and pick at least 1 point in Precise Shots, and then we'll pick Improved Steady Shot. That's kind of a must because otherwise it generates no focus. That means you would have no focus regeneration at all, mind you. Then Improved Arcane Shot, so it reduces the cost. I'm not sure what the base cost is, but that's usually going to be pretty good, so I'll put 2 points there. I will do Killing Blow has a chance to, or Kill Shot has a Critical Strike chance increased. That's always a good thing. You could always go elsewhere too, including, actually, we could do that. So if you didn't want to have Killing Blow have the increased crit strike chance, you could go Rapid Fire into Careful Aim instead. But Careful Aim is a must. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put another point in Precise Shots, and then go over here because Aim Shot is still going to be the most damage we do with an ability, so you want to make sure and buff that as much as possible. Here, Hunter's Knowledge, so we have an increased chance to crit with our Aim Shot, which is our meat and potatoes, on top of this extra 6% just base, without talking about any of our items. Including Unerring Vision, which is here, which will have that increased crit chance. I don't know percentages, it just says 13, so that would only be like 130 crit. I don't know if that's going to be good or worthwhile or not, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to be going with it almost every time because I love that build, and that's the build I've been championing in all of my other videos. We'll put 2 points in Hunter's Knowledge, which will open this up down here. We will, oh, I see, that's why I did it. So you do want Killing Blow because that's going to open up multi-shot. Otherwise, you just don't have multi-shot, so that means you can't cleave. And this is an AOE build, so you kind of need to cleave. So we'll go ahead and I thought about Bullseye. This is really strong, and it's a new ability. So whenever you attack a target below 20% health, you gain 1% increased critical strike chance every chance for 6 seconds, and that stacks up to 15 to 30 times. That's 30%, 15 to 30% crit. And that's going to be really strong on top of all the crit we already have. So we're talking like on boss fights in particular, you might be almost at 100% crit depending on how some of this is going to work, or a heavy amount like 60% plus, 50% plus. So I think I put 1 point in that because we still need to get down here to trick shots. Because otherwise we just don't have trick shots right now. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 points in Bullseye. Actually, no, we could probably just do 1 because we could still use this over here. Then True Aim, which means your Arcane Shot and Multi-Shot is going to do more damage. So we're going to be using those more, so it's still very important to do that. And then this one's Death Blow, so Aim Shot has a 10% chance to give you a kill shot. And thanks to our Hunter tree and then later on up here, we're already going to be doing a lot of damage with our kill shot and getting more out, so that might be something that you try. Otherwise, that goes into Lone Wolf, so it's not the end of the world if you don't end up picking that one, at least not right now, or at least not picking up Lone Wolf, since we will be running with a pet in Mythic Plus. at least as of this video. So steady focus is still, it gives you up to 15% chance to, or excuse me, 15% haste. So you could be running with really low haste. As long as you're good about keeping this up, you basically have like at least 20% haste all the time. That's great. That's pretty much kind of like the way In the Rhythm worked. And In the Rhythm was the Azurite trait that I was championing in my video, as well as in all of my shenanigans in BFA. So here now we still need to spend one more point. So we will go ahead and pick up True Shots, and then, or excuse me, Trick Shots, and then that will allow us to grab Volley. And you will notice I am not picking up Streamline, and I'm not picking up Rapid Fire. In my opinion, it costs too much to get to it, to make it worthwhile. Because if you're picking up Rapid Fire, to make it really worth what it is now, you have to spend 4 points, which is over 10% of your entire allotted points. So I've tended to stay away from it, and because of that, I stay away from Double Tap too. That could be an unpopular opinion, but that's kind of what I'm doing in this particular video. So here we want True Shot. True Shot's so important. So then calling the shots for our build, and then we will pick Unerring Vision. And again, I absolutely love Unerring Vision. So that gives me 5 more points to spend, and I can go back through and fill out my tree. So we're going to be critting a lot, so Sharpshooters is an option. So is Lock and Load. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Lock and Load. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pick Death Blow. And then I have 3 more points to spend, and I could pick Rapid Fire, but again, Rapid Fire is not going to give me any focus back. It's not going to give me any focus at all, so it's just a damaging ability. And right now, not a ton of damage. So this is where I can either do Salvo, which was an old Azurite trait. I could, let's see, I don't really want Lone Wolf. I could do the ammo abilities. In fact, that one's pretty strong. So let's see, so if this was going to be, so for example, I could either do crit damage increased by 4%, or I could come down here, do 2 points in Salvo, and I could do, and pick one of these. So now my Trick Shots will cause my Aim Shot and Rapid Fire to ricochet to 2 additional targets, so on top of the 5. So you have your target plus 5, so it'd be another 2, so up to 8 total targets. Or Heavy Ammo would be 2 fewer targets, but do more damage. So it would be perfect for like a 3 or 4 target cleave fight, because you'd just be hitting them and doing more damage. So for the sake of the video, there's going to be so many different builds that you can do. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Salvo 1 here, and then pick one of these ammos. And honestly, probably really doesn't matter. So I'm probably going to pick Light Ammo for PvE Mythic Plus. So this is going to be kind of what our build would look like. And this is just, again, one of the few mini builds, not just one of the few builds, one of the mini builds. So what I do whenever I'm theory crafting builds, I figure out what I want out of the build. So for Hunter Tree on this, I want Explosive Shot and I want Death Chakram. I got that. I wanted Intimidation to have that in my build, and I also wanted to have as much utility as possible. Did all that things. Great. Then I come over here to the Marksman tree itself, and so am I doing single target or am I doing AoE? I'm doing AoE, so I want to make sure I'm prioritized like Volley. I still want Unerring Vision. I'm going to always run Unerring Vision. I love that ability. Until they show me that it's complete garbage, I'm going to always pick it. And then it's just augmenting my damage, increasing my multi-shot and arcane shot damage, and then also making sure that my abilities are going to crit more. And I think that's really going to be the bread and butter for Marksman Hunter, at least in this iteration here. All right, so that's one build. And then also, I tend to stay away from this side of the tree, so I'm kind of tending to stay away from like Steel Trap, Stampede right now. Scare Beast really isn't doing it for me. And then I will do another build later on, maybe not in this video, but to use and incorporate Wailing Arrow, because I really want to see how strong it is in comparison to the way it is currently in Shadowlands, because it's really strong. All right, so this would be, so that was like a Mythic Plus build that I would use that would be good in all situations. It has Careful Aim as well. It has Explosive Shot. It has all of the utility. It has Death Chakram. And I feel like that's going to be a pretty strong build. It's going to have a nice flow of both single target and AoE. And the longest cooldown that we're going to have is 2 minutes, which is True Shot. And on top of that, it's going to have its cooldown lowered consistently. So that's kind of what my thinking was on that. You can leave me a comment down below and let me know if you think otherwise. That's perfectly fine, and I would love to see the builds that you guys come up with. And then this other build here, this would be more of a single target build. So if I'm doing a single target build, I'm assuming I'm doing a raid boss build, which means I don't need things like volley, and I don't need things like intimidate, because I can't intimidate a boss. Okay. So this would be like a single target build. So I run with kill shot again, and then 1 point in improved kill shot. I'll do 1 point in post haste, put both points in natural mending. Sometimes you trank bosses, sometimes you don't. So that could be something that would be on a boss-to-boss basis, but I will put another point in post-haste. I'll put one in counter shot and misdirect. You're welcome, Glitch. I'll always run with misdirect if I'm doing like a boss fight. So here, again, if you don't need to trank shot a boss, it's not worth picking the talent. So then that's where you could put a point in kill command. So actually, I said I wasn't going to run with a pet, so maybe not. Interesting. I guess let's just run with trank shot for now, because maybe the boss has something I can remove. If they're going to put it so early in the tree and have it right towards the middle, I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of things that we need to get rid of the enrages and those magic effects. So here, Fog Crystal is still pretty worthless, and since we're not running with a pet, we're not going to really worry about this side of the tree at all. And actually, we don't even need to run with that either, so it means we might not have to run with Born to Be Wild, which means we have some more options later. So Trank Shot, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead, I guess Explosive Shot, it says it does fire damage. I don't know how much damage. That's just going to have to be something we wait and see. But just again, for the sake of the video, that's kind of like our only option right now. And then you're gonna see me pick this agile movement a lot. Movement speed is really important. If you've noticed, if you watch any of my Mythic Plus videos, I tend to lag behind the group with like my longer casts and that sort of thing. So having this movement speed and trying to weave in your aim shots will be very important, and I'm really excited for that. Especially since I'm not gonna have Trailblazer. Feels bad. So, all right, so now we still have to spend a total of 6 points to move on. So that's going to be rather difficult since we've skipped so much. So probably to get down to there, we have to. So we're going to do 2 points in Binding Shackles. Let's see. And this is where, it does get kind of weird. So we still need to spend 4 points. Probably end up just doing like Tar Trap, just for the sake of having utility in your build if it would come up. So I'll pick Binding again, and if I pick Binding, that'll give me 2 more points. I don't really need to do Exhilaration. I probably don't need Kill Command, so the only other option would be Born to Be Wild, and now that opens up the bottom part. And again, I'm still wanting to pick up Death Chakram. I had actually been picking up for single target Explosive Shot as well, just because it was available, but I don't know how much damage does, so I don't know if that's going to gimp our damage or not. But there's also not a ton of other options for like 1 single point. So here I picked Serpent Sting, and then I again picked Viper's Venom, and then actually I do need to pick that. So what if I did this instead? Again, I'm theory crafting here as soon as while I'm recording this video. So if will it let me? Okay, there we go. That's how you reset some of these sometimes. So if I want to get down here and have Death Chakram, I want Keen Eyesight still. Then I don't have to pick Chimera Shot. I'll pick Barrage, Master Marksman, and then I'll pick Death Chakram. So then I still have 4 points to spend. And so if I wanted to run with Serpent Stalker's Trickery over here, I wouldn't necessarily want to run with Serpent Sting. But I feel like that would still put more damage in the build. So I'll do Serpent Sting, and then this Latent Poison Injectors. Let's see, stacking up to 10 times. Barb Shot, Aim Shot, Raptor Strike consumes all stacks of Latent Poison, dealing nature damage to the target per stack consumed. So I feel like Viper's Venom would be good for potentially AoE, and the injectors would potentially be good for single target. But again, I don't know damage for any of this stuff, so it's all speculation. So for the sake of this video and this build, let's do latent poison injectors. Then explosive shot, even though it's a single target build, and that gives me 1 more point. So like I said, I'm not going to be running with a pet with this, so I'm going to go with another point in Born to be Wild. And then coming over here to the Marksman tree, so aim shot, and this is going to be pretty standard for me because there's just too many things I'm too in love with right now until I know numbers. So improved steady shot's a must. Then we'll do more of these precise shots because we are still trying to whittle the cooldown of the unerring visioned true shots. Then we'll do arcane shot, then killing blow, then we'll do focused aim, hunter's knowledge. Don't need our multi-shot, but we will pick up careful aim. Then we'll do bullseye. We'll put both points in bullseye and true aim after that. Here, then we want to make sure and have lone wolf for this. So we have to pick death blow, which we have a 10% chance to have a free kill shot, which was part of the flayed shot aspect. Instead of it being a bleed dot, it's just aim shot has a 10% chance to give you the freebie like the flayed shot did. And then we'll pick lone wolf, but that doesn't mean that we have to pick serpent stalker's trickery. Although, to be fair, running with latent poison injectors and being able to spray serpent stalkers would be pretty nice, but that's another build for another time, and you guys don't have time for that. Alright, so many builds, so little time, you know? So then we want steady focus. It's still one of my favorite abilities in this game. Then we'll pick true shot, and then we'll pick calling the shots, which is a must if you are running with true shot and unerring vision, and then lock and load. So we have 4 points left. 4 points, so I showed 8, but you know what I mean. 4 points left. This is where I decided to put points. Actually, can I remove a point somewhere? I don't think I can. No, it doesn't look like I can. Well, I was going to try to put some more points down here, but then I guess I would just do Deadeye. Oh, I guess I could just remove lock and load. But again, I'm too in love with lock and load right now. I love the randomness about it, but in a good way. Like, it can mean the difference between killing somebody and being killed in PvP, for example. But then I would pick Wailing Arrow. I'd love to try it. It may be not so good. It may not be as good as the legendary bow version of it is in the game right now. But I would put Wailing Arrow there, and then Legacy of the Windrunners, I put my last couple of points. That is an ability from Legion. I actually don't remember it too much, but I do remember it doing damage. I don't remember what percent of our overall damage. But I feel like the builds there's flexibility. So for example, if there's 3 hunters in the group, why does all 3 hunters, like if you were talking about a raid setting, right? If there are 3 hunters in the group, why do all of you need misdirect? Pick somebody for misdirect and then don't worry about it. Like, not everybody needs tar trap, not everybody needs trank shot. If you start to class stack, particularly in some of the bigger group sizes, up to 30 in raid, you can do a lot of things. And yeah, it does stink if one person's required to do all of the utility, but the way that the trees are set up, for example, over on the hunter tree, I appreciate the heck out of them putting intimidation in for all hunter specs, because that's one of the things that Marksman hasn't had, which was a stun. And having intimidation there, it's in the middle of the tree, it's easily accessible, and then listening to what hunters have been playing, and they've been noticing that Death Chakram with Necrolord right now is being played more and more and more. And there's no circles that I have to throw on the ground. That was like one of the biggest things I didn't want to see come to Dragonflight. No wild spirits. I like wild spirits and I like resonating arrow. I don't like having to throw them on the ground constantly and having the tank move. I don't like that. It's not fun. It's not fun in pugs. It's not fun in progression because you don't know where everything's going to stand. So they put all of the power, like other than volley, there's nothing you throw on the ground that does damage. That's it. And with volley, volley will still give you trick shots, even if they have to move it. So you still gain some sort of utility and use out of that, even if you're not getting the full amount of damage. I appreciate the way Blizzard has implemented several of these abilities. I thought more abilities would be like just in your toolkit from day one and not points in here. These are all subject to change, like I said. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it down in the comments section. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm excited to run with a pet, at least in Mythic Plus, or in any situation where the intimidation is worth it. And I like that if I decide to run with intimidation and pet, I have plenty of points over on the marksmanship side of the tree where I don't have to pick lone wolf, so I don't waste points. And then one of the things that I'm sure I'll get questions on, why I did not do double tap. So double tap's so important in PvP right now. It's a very strong cooldown, but I just decided to go away from it just because I had to pick up 4 points in rapid fire before I could even get down there. Now I could come over here and do some of this stuff as well, but it's looking like since you either have to get volley or trick shots to even get down there, Blizzard is seeing double tap as more of an AOE ability instead of a single target one. But that's just kind of what it looks like for me. But for you guys, I would love to hear your opinions. Again, I tried to keep this as short as possible. I'm long-winded. I'm sure I went way over time. But I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/MrEggplant, where I'm doing all sorts of streams. Just actually got done like half an hour ago doing a Diablo 3 stream. It was so much fun. Killed Asmodan in like 3 seconds, which was pretty crazy. But there is going to be so many options, and like I said earlier, in my Discord, I encourage you guys to check it out. People are building their own single target builds. We don't have damage to compare, so we can't obviously go on what's the best damage only, but like 3 people have 3 different single target builds. They're all different. They all have different objectives. So I would encourage you guys to make your own, check out the calculator, and then leave them in. Actually, I don't know if YouTube will let you leave links or not. I don't know. Give it a shot though. If not, join my Discord and leave them there. And then compare and contrast, and then let me know what you are seeing in these talent trees, what you want to prioritize, and what you're looking forward to as we get into Dragonflight. Dragonflight's at least probably 5 months away. That'll be like the first week of December. They said it's going to be here before the end of the year. Will they push it back? I don't know. But what I see here is I like this. I like the options. I've seen some really broken stuff in some of the other talent trees, but I like the way that they're building around crit. They're building around our bread and butter abilities while still giving us all of the utility, and even more so than we've had in quite some time. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get another aspect. I really wanted aspect of the fox, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still plenty happy with this. So thank you guys for watching. Best of luck in Mythic Plus Raid Season 4. It'll be here before you know it. And then I'll be sure and talk to you guys in my Season 4 Marksman Hunter Guide, which will be out on patch day for Season 4. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.